Okay, so the orchids that is on the board, on this particular board here, and it's doing fantastic. What we have done is we took a little bit of cutting off of it, and in here are sphagnum moss and orchid bark. In that we are using a coffee cup. In the cup, we are using this plastic container, and in the cup we have water in there, so that way the water automatically drizzle up, or it will come up as the plant needs. We have saran wraps to create a little bit of greenhouse and keep the moisture in for the orchids, in order for them to keep the humidity in the bottom of the orchid bark, so that way it will produce roots. We put it in a cup and we put it near the kitchen window, so that way it has somewhat of light, filter light during the day. But as you can see here, that it's doing fantastic. It's starting to form, it has leaves, and it is not dry. How you can tell if it's gonna produce roots for you or not, if the orchid here, the stems that you take out from the original plant, so let's say if I take the cutting off of here and then I transport it here to create a cutting, I want to make sure that the green, the stems, does not dry up. And because it's winter time, it's we turn on the heater, and it's the temperature is hot, cold. It's just weird weather for right now. So what we do is we came up with a system where we have these saran wrap on the top, so it keeps the moisture in. That way it keeps the orchid happy somewhat at a temperature that they prefer, because if you turn on the heat too high, it's going to be too hot. Turn on the heat too low, it's going to be too cold. But if you have a piece of plastic over the container or the vase or the cup like we're doing here, it keeps the temperature the same, so that way the orchids will root and it will thrive and do well. We're hoping to get more leaves, but at the moment the leaves are green and it is doing fantastic. This one was near dead. We have it also in a mug. This orchid was near dead, and we have put smack the moss orchid bark for it, and we also clean out the roots, and we provide new space for it to grow. And as you can see, it's doing fantastic. It's just not growing, but because the leaves actually is green and it's look like it's not in pain or not any, there's no damage, no yellowing on the orchid, this meant that the orchid is happy in this little mug that we have it in. So when you get the orchid from the store, try to, if it needs to be repot, you can repot it, but just make sure that the container that you have it in retains moisture. That's the reason why these plastic containers does wonders for them, because it doesn't have any hole. It creates a kind of like a greenhouse like environment for them, and it keep the humidity in the base of the orchid. And when you water the orchid, you water by soaking it instead of by watering it on top like what I'm doing here. You want to soak it instead of having the water it from the top. But sometime when you're in a hurry, then you can't really soak all of your orchid. You have to water it from the top down. But generally they like to be soaked. They like the root, like the roots actually gravitates towards the bottom, like so, to where the water is. So they like to be soaked from the bottom up. They like to be water from the bottom up, just like these here. They like to, this is water. They like to be soaked instead of having drenched with water from the top down. But sometimes it's okay to drench them with water. However, that's what they prefer. Their roots grow down straight, so that way they can get the water from beneath. And they like humidity, so that's the reason why they want to have a little container or some place where it will keep the humidity in, so that way the changes in climate doesn't affect them. So orchids is resilient and is easy to grow. However, it's also fidgety and is hard to grow if you don't understand them. Though they do have beautiful flowers, so it takes time and learning in order for you to make your orchids happy. And as you can see, everyone makes mistakes when they first grow a certain type of flowers. Keep on going, keep on learning. You will be just fine. You will probably kill one or two, but that's okay. Just buy another one and start over.